Let's cut across to our other guests this morning. I have Naveen Chomal, he's an advocate. I have Sumit Chandar, who's also an advocate. Let's look at the legal angles of this case. And Mr. Chandar, I want to begin with you. If you just break it down in terms of the trajectory of this case of the last 28 years, too many twists and turns and too many questions being raised of the CBI as well.
If you look at the demolition 6 December 1982, I'm sorry, for some reason. Now, what has happened is there were two FIRs registered, and let us understand these two FIRs. One was, of course, FIR number 197, which was registered against the car savers who had climbed atop the mosque to smash it with hammers and axes. The second was FIR number 198, which was filed against 8 people, including Mr. Advani, Uma Bharti, and so on. Now, they were for the conspiracy. Of course, towards the end, when the trial had begun, even before the framing of the charge, a lot of orders were challenged before the High Court, then it went to the Supreme Court. Technically, the trial had begun only after 2010 when the charge was framed. Now, this happened, and where the trial continued, the evidence was made. Then finally, the decision is now going to come today. Now, so far as Supreme Court is concerned, in the other case, in 19th April 2017, had clearly, 2019, 9th November 2019, had clearly said that an egregious violation of the rule of law has happened in this case. The court is now going to take care of this while deciding, but it will decide into two categories, one which will relate to the conspiracy and the other which will relate to the actual act of smashing and hammering with axes of the mosque there.
You know, we're going to talk a little bit more about it. We were having this conversation earlier with my colleague Rahul Srivastav in terms of those two FIRs which was merged into one case, one of conspiracy, the other of instigating a mob. We're going to talk and delve a little bit deeper in it, but let's listen in to all the reactions coming in terms of stakeholders. Let's listen in right now to Iqbal Ansari, who was a litigant in the Ayodhya land dispute case.
हम तो यही भी हमारा सवाल है कि जो लोग जो है इस दुनिया में हैं, कुछ लोग नहीं हैं, कुछ लोग बुजुर्ग हैं, तो कोर्ट उनका फैसला करे, वो चाहे उनको बरी करे या उनको सजा दे, ये काम सब जो है वो जो है कोर्ट का.
Chomal, advocate, is also with us. Mr. Chomal, if you look at it and you look at the trajectory of this case, lots of questions, lot of loopholes as well. Would you admit?
Definitely, it will be very difficult for the Sessions Court, special CBI court, to now convict any of the persons, because around 28 years have passed, and now the trial also began so late. So I doubt whether the evidence will be cogent and clinching and strong enough to convict any person. But you can't trust the judiciary, because Supreme Court has basically loaded the die against the accused person on 9th of November 2019 in the judgment, when it has constantly said that this was against the law. The demolition of the disputed structure, which they referred to as Babri Masjid, was against the law. So definitely the special CBI court judge will be under a pressure of the Supreme Court's judgment also. So he may at the most convict those people. Of course, this may be a boon in disguise for all the people like LK Advani, Murli, Manohar, Joshi. They will become immortal in the history that just they were responsible for laying the foundation stone of Ram Mandir.
Mr. Chomal, we'd like to, you know, I think we should, sir, can I come in? And it's a sincere request. Let's keep ideology away from it. You know, what you might look, sir, let's, you know, if you're talking about immortality in history, right now, let's just stick to the legal facts and the legal facets of this case. Let's not talk about immortality, history, on what grounds would be remembered as what, right? Let's just